What is up, everyone? Welcome to Plastic Cards Podcast, a show where we break down the video game news of the week. Tonight, we're breaking down the Video Game Awards. We're a week away. Gavin Jones, how are you doing?
Man, I'm excited. I also read the dates wrong because you said, hey, we should do this tonight. I'm like, sweet. I got busy at work, and then I checked the time, and I read it as the Game Awards are on the 19th.
Oh, it's next Thursday.
Not. Yeah, they are a week from today.
Yeah. Alrighty, Gavin. So have some predictions for the announcements popping up. Some of this stuff is like games that we should see by now. So I have it broken down by the platforms themselves. So Xbox is first. So we can run down these, spend as much time as you want. So we have Playground Games. We talk about Fable. Should we see a teaser by now? So they first showed off Fable teaser. I want to say it was last E3 that Xbox had. So do you think we see some gameplay by now?
I think, I mean, I've said it 1,000 times. I will eat a shoe if they don't show it at this point. They have to.
I think by now,
so long.
Yeah, so we got that CGI teaser from, I want to say it's around a year ago now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Playground Games who make Forza Horizon. Now they finished that. I imagine they're still going to have a team working on DLC, but you think that now it's all hands on deck, working on Playground. I'm sure it was maybe split at the time. But yeah, I think it's fair to say we see some gameplay at this Game Award. So I'm going to write you down. You think you're going to predict that?
I'm 10 out of 10 on that one.
Okay, I have our little spreadsheet here that no one can see.
There we go.
So we have related to that.
No, no one can see.
No, it's just for us. But related to that is Turn 10. They handled the Forza Motorsport, like the core racing sim aspect. There was this like CG or somewhat kind of gameplay trailer that was announced. Maybe the first Game Awards when the Xbox Series X was shown off. Do you think we see some gameplay by now?
Oh, sure.
This is the mainline Forza Motorsport.
Yeah, I don't know.
And they're going to reboot the franchise, or it's not going to be like Forza 7 or whatever. It's going to be an actual reboot of it. But
yeah,
I feel like now that Horizon's out of the way, sort of, there's going to be DLC coming out. That was one also good to go back. That was one of my predictions that we see some Horizon 5 DLC showing off or announced.
I'm sure. Do you have a dog in this race for Motorsport?
I think for Motorsport, it's time to now kind of, because Jeff Keighley has said like we're going to see a lot of news for 2022, 2023. So I feel like you show some actual like in-game Forza Motorsport.
Right.
So I would say that.
I'd say sure.
Now, this is a rumor we talked about last week. So 343, it's a very, very light rumor that they're working on a second Halo game in conjunction with Infinite. Do you think that's possible that we see anything like that?
Hear me out. Halo Kart Racer.
Okay, with just the warthogs and the bands. That could be dope, but you can also create that in Infinite.
It's just going to be Diddy Kong racing. But what's your prediction for second Halo game?
I'm going to throw it in there, but I don't have much faith in it. That's more of my.
You don't think it exists?
I don't know if it exists. I think it could, but I don't think we'd see it now if it does. Because I mean, the single player would just launch that same week. That's next Tuesday or Thursday is Infinite campaign.
I mean, it'd be a good time to keep the buzz up. This is kind of like the multiplayer is a good
that would, but I would think if this is some kind of single or like first person equivalent on that Infinite engine, just like they did with ODST, they waited at least a year or so after that, if I remember correctly, after Halo 3 to ODST, and that was like this little tiny expansion that was its own thing. Yeah. So I feel like they waited a long time. So I think they would follow that same idea where they would wait and not like announce this the same week of Halo. Although you're right, where like they could follow that hype and be like, hey, there's another one. And yeah, they could do that.
I will realistically, I'm saying it does exist. I still want it to be a battle royale because battle royale on a Halo would be awesome.
Yeah, you mentioned that before. That'd be really dope.
Every time.
Now we have Perfect Dark gameplay from the Initiative that was shown off. I want to say the 2 Game Awards ago, there was a CG trailer showing it off. Do you think we see some gameplay by now? It's been at least a year since with that CG trailer, rather.
That's a big maybe. That's the thing. Like the Initiative's very fast. They're very effective with the Unreal Engine.
Now you might be thinking of the Coalition. That's the Gears.
Yep. I was 100% thinking of the Coalition.
So the Initiative, they're yet to put out a game, but they've been made. They're that one studio that has that quadruple A moniker that keeps getting thrown around.
Boy.
So they've been scooped by all these different like industry vets to make this next game for Xbox. But they're working on the Perfect Dark franchise, but they haven't put out a game yet. This is will be their first one. But so far, we just have that CG trailer.
Seems like a good time. What do you think?
I think so. I'm thinking we're going to see something.
Yeah.
A very short amount of gameplay, but I think we see some gameplay because we got the
you're
CG
the only
thing.
one getting the X's here.
Well, you gotta, you gotta play to win, Gavin.
I've been what you have to say it
we got a
first.
lot more
I
to-
just said it first.
We got a lot more to go down.
Oh my
We got a lot
god.
more. So we have Senua's Sacrifice. That was shown off. The first Game Awards that they showed off the Xbox Series X. They have that long, they said in-game sort of demo. Do you think we get some actual gameplay?
I think we have to.
I think we do.
It has been so many years.
I say we get a release date too. What do you think?
Ooh, yeah. Let's do it.
I would imagine not till at the very least next holiday season, if not
Mhm.
2023. But I think they reveal a date,
I think
and they
that's
might
solid.
just say the year. I don't think they like lock it down to an actual month or whatever.
Mm.
Now they also Ninja Theory are working on a mental health game. They have a name for it. I forget the name, but it was that one where they're showing off this like crazy realistic engine that they're working on, where they render the carpet and the fibers and stuff. Do you remember this? We've talked about it before.
I do not.
It has like the name of a person.
Oh.
But I'm wondering if we see some gameplay from that.
Huh.
But you don't remember this game, so you might not put an X on your name here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I'm thinking maybe we see some gameplay. And this is I don't know if this game comes out or whatever. It's just like a tech demo, but they've been talking about that.
Oh, that's cool.
Now here's a rumor situation. Kojima is rumored to be working with Xbox for a game. Do you think we see that? at this Game Awards?
I actually wrote that down on my own list.
Ooh.
I didn't write Xbox, but I think 100% Kojima's coming out this year.
Yeah, and that could be both things at the same time where Kojima has such a good relationship with Jeff Keighley.
Right.
You go back to Metal Gear Solid 5 was first teased as the Phantom Pain, or before that, there was that weird whale game that he was tied to, but then it turned into Phantom Pain. So he has that connection with them. And then after he left Konami, he was there and they were both, like super bros about it. Like he, gave him a platform to talk about it. So I think whatever he reveals, I do think there's a good chance that it's at the Game Awards. Do you think it's an Xbox centric title, or do you think it's just a Kojima game?
I don't think so, but I do think all we're getting is, and I realize this is a safe bet, but we are going to get a 100% fucking nonsense trailer.
Yes.
Like we did with, what was the last game you made?
Death Stranding.
Yeah, it's going to be that all over
Yeah.
again. Just the fuck.
I agree with you, and I'm all on board with that. So I'm gonna put my X down for the Kojima Xbox, but Kojima himself, I'll put you down for Kojima presence. Now,
Oh,
Gavin,
boy.
Outer Worlds 2 had their fun teaser about how they just barely started working on the sequel. Do you think we see anything from them with Xbox at the Game Awards?
I do not.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think it's still too early, and it'd be weird to tease again a funny trailer about how they're still like they started, thinking about a sequel. I think it's too early.
That would be fun.
What about Sea of Thieves? You think we see some content from them? I'm trying to think of like first party Xbox games.
I don't, but at the same time, one of my predictions, and I'm calling it again, I'm going to
Yeah.
call it until it happens, Sky of Thieves. We're
Sky of
getting
Thieves.
Sea of Thieves in goddamn space, and Gavin's finally going to play it.
So you think maybe to push it even further, they're like teasing, or they could possibly tease a new entry or new game from Rare.
Yes,
Gotcha.
absolutely, 100%.
I'll
And
put
that's
parentheses
what I'm
new
calling.
game from Rare.
I think so. Another studio they own Obsidian, but Obsidian were Vowed. I think we finally gonna see Avowed.
Do you think we see some gameplay or just another trailer?
yeah, daddy.
Gotcha.
We're gonna see some hot
think so as
spicy
well.
gameplay. But the one I'm actually very very confident. The last update for where'd it go? Grounded. They put
Ooh.
out a pretty stanky like in a good way update, which made it so the gear allows you to role play a little bit more. It gives you a little more options. Everyone plays a little bit differently.
Yeah.
So I think they've been really preparing for a big beefy update.
Gotcha. So maybe like DLC or an actual full blown.
Well, I mean, it's still in like alpha and stuff.
You might be right. Yeah. Now, a few things with Bethesda. We have Starfield. That's their next thing coming out next November. And they have the date apparently set in stone or set in pen, as they said a couple weeks ago. Do you think we see some gameplay, or they would hold that off till the next E3?
I'm thinking gameplay.
Yeah.
They showed nothing at the last thing.
Yeah, they had a trailer last E3, but
Mhm.
I don't think we see any gameplay. But I'll put you down for that. Deathloop. So that's one of their studios within Bethesda. Is it Arcane? So
Yeah.
do you think we see any DLC announced there?
They've had award-winning DLC. Basically, I don't think it's ever won an award, but amazing, highly talked about DLC with
Yeah.
every single game they've made. There's no way they're not.
Who do you think it's announced here?
I think it's announced here, and I think when it comes out, I like it better than the main game.
You might not be wrong about that. Yeah. Now, Machine Games, who make the Wolfenstein, that reboot, the series of games, they're working on an Indiana Jones game. Do you think we see anything from that?
That would be interesting because they're very fast. They make games very, very fast, but they were also helping with Deathloop.
Yeah.
So, but the Deathloop devs were also helping with the last Machine Games game. So I
Now,
don't.
it could be a sort of like Respawn situation. So they were working on Titanfall. They also put out that banger that was Jedi Fallen Order, which was like a third-person action platformer.
What? Really?
Yeah. So
That was them?
That was Respawn. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Huh.
So maybe they could, it's the same kind of situation where they're leaving the fast-paced FPS, but they can still nail some kind of, third-person platformer. You have to imagine Indiana Jones. You got to see that character. It's got to be, you got to have the puzzle solving with the platforming in there. But do you think we could see? It was last summer that they showed off the trailer, and it was just a CG, like it was a maybe 5-second long snippet. They show like a map. They show Indy grab his hat, and that's about it. Do you think we could see anything from that?
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
I don't see any reason why not.
I
Unless
do
they're
think
holding it
maybe
back
we see
for like a Microsoft press conference. That's the only.
And that could be it. That's the thing. It's easy to put a lot of stock with the Game Awards, but a lot of these properties or these companies will keep stuff to their closer to the chest until they're ready to show something with their own like stream, their own centric thingamabob. So if you don't have any other Xbox stuff, we got PlayStation.
No Bethesda.
Gotcha. So we got there's been rumors that we'd see eventually pretty soon something from Naughty Dog. They're working on Last of Us 2 multiplayer. Do you think we see a tease here?
Yes.
Ooh.
Hope so.
I'm
Chrono
wishy-washy.
Cross remake. Man, that would
Yeah,
be
so let's get into that. So Chrono Cross, I'm going to say yes on the grounded presence, but Chrono Cross remake,
No.
it's been rumored this whole week that PlayStation's involved with some kind of remake of Chrono Cross. Do you think we see it here?
I think it would be easier. It would probably be easier to remake than Chrono Trigger, but I don't think you do a Chrono Cross remake until you've done a Chrono Trigger remake.
Gotcha. I'm not familiar with this franchise to know which one comes first.
I'm not even sure if they're technically related.
I don't know.
It may be like a Final Fantasy series where they share a name, like an element of a name.
Gotcha.
But I mean, this would be like, I hear it's very good. Yeah, that would be interesting.
I'm not a big JRPG fan, so that whole series kind of just flew by me.
Yeah,
but I've been seeing a lot of rumors for this, which is why I threw it on there. I think we'll see it just based on the rumors alone.
I hope so, but also give me the Chrono Trigger because that was really cool.
Okay.
I don't know
Did you
that
play
that
it?
would remake well. Like it was very of its age or of
What
its
if it gets
era.
the Final? Because it's Square Enix. What if it gets the Final Fantasy VII remake treatment, where they just like completely, spend time on every aspect of it?
It was already so good. I don't
Okay,
know.
gotcha. Well, that's a
Interesting.
potential. PSVR 2. Sony said they're not going to show anything this year. It's close to next year now. This was a while ago. Do you think we've seen the handle, the triggers, the actual like components to it, the actual joysticks rather? Do you think we see the actual unit or any kind of PSVR 2 news?
I forgot it was announced. So
All right,
I'm
we'll
going
move
no.
Jesus.
You're
Okay.
going with the X though. You think it's getting announced?
That's what
Or
I'm
are you
throwing
just
in there.
marking that we covered it?
No, I'm X. The X means that I bet that it's there. Now, I'm not like betting my house on it. I think it'd be cool if it's shown off.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure because I feel like PlayStation doesn't have a big presence at these Game Awards, but it could be just comparing that to Xbox announcing their next gen console there. But I don't know. So Gran Turismo 7 is one of the next games coming out next year for PS5 and PS4. Think we see some gameplay there?
I think so.
I think so too.
I
I think they really have to start promoting that thing and compare it or like competing against Forza 5 because it's eating everybody's lunch. So I feel like you start showing like, okay, that game came out cool. This is next gen. And you show some like ray tracing, trailer, something like that. We've seen some gameplay, but like I'd like to see some more on Forza or on Turismo 7. Do you know much about this game called Abandoned?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You don't, yeah. So I'm going to skip that one. So we have Returnal is rumored to have DLC coming out. So Housemarque tweeted this image of like a stone helmet with nothing else. And everyone's thinking we're going to see some DLC announced very soon. Could it be Game Awards?
I definitely remember like popping into a streamer's stream right as they'd like, I think they basically experienced everything there was in Returnal. and they said nothing was like this game is far from like finished being answered all the questions.
Gotcha.
So I think you have to.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's going to happen too. Now, Blue Point, Sony acquired them a couple months ago. I want to say it was the summertime. Finally, after years of like working with them
Is that
exclusively.
the port? The really good port house?
Yeah, so they worked on Demon Souls,
Ooh.
Shadow of the Colossus. So do you think we see their next project? So it's been a year now since Demon Souls came out.
I hope so. I mean, you see so many success stories of these developers that they cut their teeth for years on ports. And then when they start putting out their own content, I mean, they've seen the way everyone makes their games.
Yeah.
And they make them fucking mean.
Although we kind
I
of
hope
cutting them
so.
short because, like, what if they actually like porting stuff? Like, what if they enjoy getting down into the bare bones
Right.
and bringing life to an old property? Like, what if they actually enjoy it?
There's nothing wrong with that, but
Right.
I bet, I mean, everyone has an idea for a game. Literally everyone.
Yeah,
You know these people want to throw something in there.
that's true. But I guess as a up and coming game dev, I have the skills and stuff, and I'm getting hired at Blue Point. I'm not coming in with my briefcase of ideas. It's like I know that they're known for like, you know, bringing these other properties back to life.
Mhm.
So it's like maybe they're attracting these people that want to just inject something with you know, upgrade it, bring it to current date, like say with Demon Souls or Shadow of the Colossus. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think we see? I think we see something from them. What do you think?
I think so. They're also very fast. So I can see them doing that.
I would
as
agree
well.
with that. So now Nintendo, I don't have much to
Ooh.
speculate on them, but do you think
I got
the
it.
big one is
So-
Breath of the Wild 2? It's been, the date has transitioned to 2022-ish. Do you think we see any presence from Breath of the Wild 2 from Nintendo here?
I don't.
Yeah. I'm going to go with, here's my hope that we see something.
That being said, your next one though, Metroid 4,
Yeah.
earlier release, but I bet we see something.
Okay. You like to move ahead, but there's a couple
Oh.
things on Breath of the Wild 2.
Oh, okay.
Do you think we see a new name or a semicolon, whatever, asterisk, Breath of the Wild 2 something or Breath of the Wild something? Do you think we stick with that Breath of the Wild 2 name?
Hear me out. It's not called Legends of Zelda. It's called Breath of the Wild, something else.
See, I'm thinking maybe they could, and they have time to add some other kind of namesake to it.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping we see something, I don't know. If you want to start, and you're Nintendo, so you do your own thing, but if you want to start
Right.
promoting that game to come out in 2022, maybe you start now at the Game Awards. Metroid 4, do you have any hope of seeing that game at the Game Awards?
I do. I have great hope. I think it's
Nice.
happening.
I don't.
And I think they're bringing back Reggie Fils-Aimé.
He's going to be there. He's one of the presenters.
Oh, is he really? All right. Well, never mind. I'm
So he will
very
be there.
confident. He's coming back. All right. He's
Listen.
He's ready to kick ass and take bubble gum.
Yes. So for any other Nintendo speculation, I don't know what they have on the docket.
I don't, but there was one I'm going, well, okay, I guess I have two. So,
RuPaul?
rewinding back to Sony for a sec, I think they're going to bring back another, what was my wording on it? Like a classic platformer character. Someone they
bring
haven't
back-
done, which they've done, like, what was that? Medieval? Did that one come out? the
They
remake?
did remake Medieval. Did Blue Point do that one or did somebody else?
Oh, boy.
Might have been somebody else.
Like,
But they've been remaking these PlayStation properties.
yeah, and people are loving them.
So the
So,
rumor is tied that it's going to be Chrono Cross, but continue.
what's the one with the guy where, like, I remember the ads. I actually have no idea what the game looked like.
Okay.
But it was like a guy in like knight armor, and then like also in the ad he'd be in just his boxers with a short, whatever or with a sword.
Ooh, and that's
What
not.
the fuck was
I keep
that?
thinking of Medieval, but it might be something else.
Tomba. Bring back Tomba.
Okay.
No one's asking for this. Tomba.
I'll put Gavin down for Bring Back Tomba.
I think that's what it was called. Do you remember this? Am I having a stroke?
I do roughly remember that
He had
character.
the pink hair. He was like a caveman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be
it's
awesome.
possible. I think maybe more likely, not even more likely, but with the PS5 when it launched, they had I forget the name of the studio, but they did that. It was like a love letter to PlayStation. It came stocked with the PS5, and it was that that robot game where you just go through the PlayStation 5 history
yeah,
or
yeah.
PlayStation history. Man, I'm blanking on that studio's name. They're well known, but maybe they have that team tackle something. I think they actually acquired them and they're working on their own game, but I wish I had better facts for you on that.
That'd be
But
awesome.
I love to see PlayStation go back to the well on these games. are these characters. A lot of the characters that were synonymous with PlayStation, they don't own anymore. So
I
like
can see that.
with Bandicoot, Activision owns them, and it kind of goes from there. But that'd be dope.
So Nintendo, we're getting Luigi something. Yeah, I think they've fully
I
played
thought about
out
Luigi, yeah.
Luigi's Mansion. I don't think they can go any further with that. But Luigi's something. And then just because we finally got that one studio making that Zelda Maker like game, I don't think we've heard anything from the Mario Maker people for a while. Zelda Maker is finally coming out.
Oh,
2D only. We're not getting 3D. Maybe
fine.
like that 2.5D we did with the one Switch game, which ran like shit. But I think we get that. And this one I feel very, very confident in. I will eat the shoe. Mario versus Rabbids.
Mario versus Rabbids. Now, what's the name of the other game?
Or Mario Rabbit. I don't know what it's called. The Tactics Mario game
Yeah.
with the Rabbids.
Mario Rabbids Luigi.
I don't know what it's called.
So some like next entry in that series? Or
Yes.
something in that
Because
related?
they've shown it.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen it for a long while.
And Rabbids is Ubisoft? Do they own that franchise? Gotcha.
So yeah, this is technically Ubisoft, but enough Nintendo that I'm counting it.
Yeah, and I wonder if to encompass Nintendo, are they more likely to show stuff at some kind of event like the Game Awards, or have their own indie directs, their own streams?
100% their own thing.
Yeah,
But
I think they're the most likely out of all of them, which is why I was like, I'm not sure what presence they'd have here. But they're so weird that they could, come out of nowhere with something cool.
Well, and they have so many studios that we haven't heard anything from for a while.
And that's why I brought up the Metroid 4 studio. I forget the name of them, but I know
Retro?
they've like redone the progress on it.
Mike keeps wanting to like
You got it?
just jab me in the face.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that shortens it.
Oh, it's to Titan. So there you go. That one. Yes.
Right, there we go.
Gotcha. All
I
right.
thought that was a uppy downy thing.
Well, you're an engineer, so. Now here's some of the third party or like other, not tied to any kind of like Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, but BioShock it's been confirmed that the Cloud Chamber, the dev, is working on it. I want to say they're still under that 2K-esque,
Shit.
lineage. Do we see anything from them? It was revealed about 3 years ago now that they were working on this.
I mean, if Ken Levine is not on the project,
He's not.
then there's a decent chance that they can make this game in a reasonable amount of time.
And Ken Levine is still working on this other game
Sure.
for a while now.
Yeah, it'll never get finished.
Because he started his own studio maybe
Uh-huh.
about like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. There's been no news on that I know of. But I do think we see some BioShock. Do you think we see it?
I don't. I really hope we do though. But you can go ahead and take that X off my name. I will
Gotcha.
not. I will not eat a shoe for that.
I think it could also be to be synonymous with BioShock 2, they could show off just the teaser CGI thing, showing off like, here's some of the characters, here's where it's going to take place. Because that's what they've done with every BioShock, is they show off the vibe first, and then we see gameplay later on.
I do hate it though, because it's been every single one they show off that,
You kind of
and
have
it's
to. Though,
very
BioShock.
cool. And then you can't do half of the stuff in that game.
Yeah, but I always take that as showing me what the general like idea is. Like with the Infinite, you're in the sky, cool. You have the Songbird, you have Elizabeth, great. With the original BioShock, you're underwater, you got the drill thing, cool. Like I just get those bullet points, and I don't, take it where like I'm asking for whatever they showed to literally be in the game. But
God damn it,
That's
I'm
me.
gonna have to play through these games again.
they're great.
Yeah.
Now we did talk about Respawn. They worked on Jedi Fallen Order. Do you think we see the sequel to that tease at all? It's been about 2-ish years on that one, 1.5.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think
At least
so.
the tease. I don't think we see gameplay, but I
That
think we see a
feels
tease.
perfect for Game Awards.
Right.
Yeah.
Now there's a game that we talked about before, Black Myth Wukong. So they switched development to UE5. I have UE3.5, but it's UE5. Do you think we see anything from them? They're kind of that's an obscure kind of thing. I think could be possible.
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
They got to get it out there.
And it's such a pretty game. And to the fact that Keely's like, hey, we're talking about kind of the future. That's a very futuristic looking game. Like it looks
Oh, God,
technically not achievable now, and it looks really cool. So yeah, that'd be a great game to show off. RE4 remake has been talked about for a while that it's happening. Do you think we see any kind of tease at the Game Awards?
Oh,
from Capcom.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I was very confused by the way this was
Yes.
described.
These are more bullet points from my brain here.
No.
No, gotcha.
How you feeling about this?
I think it's possible. but I don't think it's likely. Tied to that sort of in the Capcom area.
Too soon to the.
Yeah, I think they want to wait for that one. Maybe I don't think we see it till 2023. But I know nothing. Also, Resident Evil 7. Do you think we see some DLC for that? That came out in the summertime, springtime last year or this year. Do you think it's time to start teasing some DLC?
I really hope so. I want to say
think
yes,
so.
but like the DLC for the last Resident Evil is some of the most amazing DLC out there.
Okay, take it easy. I don't know. I played some of it and it was cool. But I think people do enjoy it. But I think it's fair to tease it here. But yeah, that's my take. Now, some other kind of out there conversations with what could be shown off. So Intel's working on their own GPU. They've been talking about it for a while. So do you think that's revealed? Also, even weirdly, RTX 40 series has been not teased or revealed at all, but there's people in the know that say that NVIDIA's already working on it. Do you think that's teased at all here? Because we're talking about consoles, but there's also the PC side of gaming.
I don't know about Intel. I think the RTX 40 series sounds extremely on brand for them right now. I hope not, but mainly just because I like currently being king of the castle. But
I think out of the two, Intel is new to the game as far as producing their own GPUs. I think they'd be the most likely to show anything off here.
Yeah.
They also have to kind of take over or create their own like hype when compared to NVIDIA, they could, say something out on the street corner and people are going to like pay attention to them.
Right.
So I would think it's going to be Intel if they say anything, but I will put them down there because I'm trying to think of, we talk about consoles all day with the Game Awards, but it is a broad, like gaming's pretty broad where it could be, there's also mobile stuff that maybe we're not even aware of that could be announced there.
Yeah.
And Jeff Keighley had said that mobile's like one of the biggest platforms. And so we're going to see more announcements from them too.
Did that one like Ubisoft game that featured like the Rainbow Six and
I know what you're talking about? I don't know. I know what you're talking about, but and people are mad because Splinter Cell, Sam Fisher was in it, but only because of that. Yeah,
that could be a nice. I see you have Hail Marys coming up next. I may have to take a quick break before we get there.
Yeah, we take a little pee break. So I added the Matrix trailer because we do have movie presence at the Game Awards. And Jeff Keighley did tweet maybe about 2 weeks ago, just the image of the new Matrix, billboard or image that he tweeted. And I wonder if that means there's going to be some kind of like new trailer, new footage from the Matrix. And I'm thinking it's going to happen.
Is this going to be like, however many years ago when they had like the Fast and Furious one where we keep having like people from this movie come out and be super awkward?
That's one of my drinking game predictions. But
boy,
I don't know if anyone from the Matrix is going to be there, which is another one of my drinking game predictions. But I think
Keanu, man, if they have Keanu, that's finished the bottle of tequila right there.
Yeah. So I do think that there's going to be some Matrix presence. But do you want to take a break before this Hail Mary predictions?
I have to be so bad.
Yeah, go for it. Take a little break here. And we're back, Kevin. So we're going through our Hail Mary predictions for the Game Awards 2021.
Buckle up.
So I have a couple here if you want to start with one too, but what do you think about, it's the Mega Bloks here, but Half-Life 3 VR, Half-Life 3 in some way. How do you feel about Half-Life 3 being at the Game Awards?
I don't think it's been a full 15 years since the last game came out.
Has it?
Since
Half-Life
Half-Life Alyx came out?
Half-Life Alyx that was last year.
Yeah, so it hasn't been a full 15 years yet.
That's true. All right. God damn it, Gavin. Well, here's why I have hope.
Okay.
Jeff Keighley has a great relationship with Valve. He did that first hours or whatever, first 48 after Half-Life Alyx came out, where he was in the studio. He was talking to them. It was a breakdown of like the dev process. So you have that. The way the Half-Life Alyx ends really opens the door to a possibility of them going back finally back to Half-Life 3 and continuing that on. I don't know if it's going to be announced here. I highly doubt it, but I think it's very possible. I think we're finally in a time now where this is a real thing that could happen. And I think because Valve doesn't really seem to go to Half-Life until like the tech is revolutionary,
right?
I feel like it's going to stick with VR because they had such great ideas and things that they pulled off with Alyx. I think that stays with VR, even though people want a first person. I hear you, but there isn't the same like physics engines or lighting stuff that's so unique enough where it's like justifies them going back to Half-Life. But what do you think?
I think no. It's probably too soon, honestly.
It is. I'm throwing it in there. This is my Hail Mary.
While we're on Valve, before you get into the next Valve thing, I'm gonna throw out my Hail Mary.
Yeah.
They bought the team that made Kerbal Space Program like a while ago.
Yeah.
And they have not come out with anything. So we are finally getting Valve's version of Kerbal Space Program. Whatever it is, some sort of space, extremely heavy physics based game. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be that.
There's also, I guess, to piggyback off that, they acquired that forest fire game.
Oh,
Campo Santo. They acquired that
Yeah.
dev that ended up working on Half-Life Alyx. Do we see them tease? Because they had put on, we talked about last week, they put on hold this like Egyptian related game to work on Alyx. And do you think that's still alive, possible? Or are they working on something else?
I think they've drank that Valve Kool-Aid.
Mm,
You got to start a game and never finish it.
gotcha.
What if though, man? Can you imagine Team Fortress 3? Like in this time where whatchamacallit, Valorant and Overwatch have been reigning supreme,
Yeah,
bring in the new Mac Daddy, the original Mac Daddy,
sure.
show them how it's done, put on stupid hats and let children gamble with them. I'm putting that in there. Team Fortress 3.
You got it. I wonder if that has the same cachet, the same like name recognition that it used to.
It didn't when the last one came out. No
Okay.
one knew what Team Fortress 1 was.
I feel like even less now though, but
Yeah.
that is a well-known property from Valve and they could do it. We'll say Team Fortress, I'm putting you down for that. And also
Yeah.
Kerbal, something from that team.
Can you imagine if a Portal came out?
Oh,
Oh boy.
say less. Whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to whoever worked on Portal? Because it was that the team or people that worked at DigiPen that they
Yeah.
absorbed into Valve, that they just spread it through Valve, and now it's like there's no remnants of that team originally now.
Yeah, they all kind of float around. Like they have like desks on wheels, and they can like literally go into the elevator and go whatever
literally
floor they
move
want.
around
They can
Valve.
move anywhere. Yeah,
Okay.
so they just literally float.
I guess who would handle if they were to go back to Portal?
Whoever wants to do it.
Yeah.
It sounds very disorganized over there, but at the same time it works for them. But also at the same time they never put out games. So
Megan does chime in and says, I want that game from Campo Santo. So yeah, they made Firewatch. They teased this weird Egyptian game that looked cool, but it's like 1920s. You're like a someone who goes and explores these pyramids, but it was still supernatural of some sort. Yeah, it looked really interesting, and I'm hoping that's alive. If you
I'm
have
down
to
for
put
that.
your head or your brain, your feet into their shoes, if you're Campo Santo and Valve approaches you, is like, hey, we want you to work on stuff with us. Do you have any kind of disclaimer that says, hey, but we still want to have our own identity to make stuff? Like there's that Egyptian game, we're working on it. Like,
Right.
do you want to have any of that in the contract to say, like, we're free to still make something we want to make? How would you approach Valve if they're like, hey, we want to acquire you?
I mean, yeah. I mean, my understanding is Valve won't stop you from doing anything.
Okay.
So if they wanted to do it, it sounds like they just start doing it again.
Gotcha.
And I'm sure other people would have their back, but it sounded like they really enjoyed making Half-Life Alyx, and I think the Campo Santo guy was one of the lead devs on that.
I think so.
So they may have the itch, they may still have the fire under their butt that they're going to push forward and maybe go for Half-Life 3. That could legit be a thing.
I would hope, as much as I want Half-Life 3, I want them to also see that Egyptian game through because it looked really, or sounded really cool.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
we'll figure out eventually. Valve Index 2,
Mm-hmm.
that's the VR thingamabob. Do you think we see anything here announced at the Game Awards? I'm trying to think of like Hail Mary stuff. Is that possible?
I hope so. I don't know what it would be though. I was looking at Leap Motion stuff
That's the
literally
Microsoft
yesterday.
thing, right?
No, I don't know if they're independent anymore, but they used to be. And it's like you can track your hands without anything around them. So it's just like the sensor and they now have this bar that's like a haptic feedback bar. I don't know how it works. So like I think it must be air, but like it presses up against your
Oh.
hand or whatever,
Yeah.
thing. So I could see maybe something with that. And that's all I got. I don't know.
I don't think Valve
saying
goes that
no.
direction. I think they reiterate on the Index if we're going to see it. And like, I'm sure it's possible that they're working on it for sure.
Right. Yeah.
With the Index, how old is it now? It's got to be at least 3 years old.
I think so.
I don't know if they're going to try and pump out hardware like Oculus does. Say with like the 1, the 2, you have the Quest, you have the other one that's before those two. I don't know if they're going to try and go the route where they're going to be speedy with their hardware.
Right.
And I think the Index has a lot of legs, long leg span on it because it's only 3 years old. It's still $1,000. It better hold up after 3 years. But I wonder about it. I think that they've got to have like the craziest research and development aspect of Valve like ever because they have so much
Yeah.
money.
I think
So,
they do.
yeah.
But I mean, that's the other thing is like the Index One is still the most premium
It is.
thing out there. So why even do a 2 when no one's caught up to 1?
That's very true. And if they are working on 2, they have the longevity of going, okay, it's going to be another 3 years out
Right.
before anybody catches up remotely to us. That reminds me with Oculus. So the Quest 2 came out, what, about a year ago now? They're going to rebrand because Facebook is now Meta, and that's the accompanying name that actually umbrellas everything else. They're going to change Oculus to something else. It's no longer going to be Oculus Quest. It's going to be Meta something. So they're going to rebrand the VR aspect of
I
stuff.
thought Meta was just the parent company.
It is.
Everything else isn't turning into Meta.
It is, but they've decided to move away from the Oculus brand to now have it connect to something related to Meta. So it's going to be something Meta or something different from Oculus, which I find very annoying.
That's dumb.
But I'll put both of us not down for Valve Index 2, I think.
I will have one. I think you're going to say no, but I know
Mhm.
you're going to root for
You can throw it at me now when you want to throw it at me.
showing off Dead Space.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
I only thought of that because it was on sale on Valve last night for like $3. So I bought it. I'll probably still never play it. I should play it before they do the remake, even though I should
Have
probably.
you played the first or the second?
I've played none.
Oh, you got to play them. They're
I've
so good.
definitely like had me and a bunch of buddies all sitting on a couch watching someone else play one
Yeah.
and screaming
Yeah.
because that game is terrifying.
Oh yeah, especially like the second one, they really figure out their pacing and the tone, and the third, falls off the rails for sure. But the first two are great.
I know they said it was pretty early on last time they showed it. I think it's still going to be very early on, but I think their communication is good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they showed actual demos of like the lighting stuff.
yes.
So I
Yeah.
think it's possible we see like a little snippet of it. So I'll jump on yours. I think that's possible here.
Mhm.
Now another reboot, Hail Mary, is Konami actually going back and jumping back on the Silent Hill train and rebooting it. Do you think that's possible, or is that dead? They're
You never
working
know
with
with
Kojima.
Konami. It worries me because they have a habit of taking the soul out of whatever they do. But
Right.
yeah, I think it happens.
Gotcha.
Maybe I don't know.
It's one of the Hail Marys, man. We're in the weird territory now. What about xCloud coming to Switch? It's been rumored, off and on for a while now since we started the show.
I don't even know. I pray. I will say yes.
I don't think so. But
Don't put it yes on me. Never
Okay.
mind. Like I want it. I desperately want it. It's not happening.
I feel like it's a no-brainer. It works
Yeah.
on phones. You can stream it on your browser. It's like put it on Switch, but I think it's just Nintendo holding things back. I don't know.
But
Yeah, throw one at me.
what we got here though, I think very solid. This one, it's not so much a Hail Mary. I feel very confident.
hmm
Guardians of the Galaxy DLC
Ooh,
coming in hot,
that's a
even
good
though
one.
it just came out.
No, I think that's a good one. You can jump on that hype and use it
Mhm.
to promote the DLC. Oh yeah, I think that's a good one. Put you down on that.
Right? I think you do it right after they win an award.
Ooh, I wonder how you organize that, but that's possible.
Well, I'm gonna have that same prediction for something else though.
Okay. What about Elden Ring?
Maybe not.
Do you think we see a demo? There's been the network test.
Yeah.
That's only was limited. Do you think we see maybe a short demo before release, and maybe it's announced here?
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, they seem equipped to do it.
Yeah.
And they said that was only a small part. I hope
Whatever
so.
the network test tested, but it was possible, right?
Yeah, I don't know that
They
anything was
tested if you had your Ethernet
I'm-
plugged in, or was it Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I'm down for yes.
So throw some Hail Marys at me, Gavin.
I have I figured I'd do it every other one.
That's all I got for Hail Marys.
One that everyone's gonna I think boo at, but Blizzard is gonna have another remake. We're gonna have
Didn't they push all their remakes like further down, and even like
don't know.
the sequel to whatever, the one that people love, the first-person shooter that's like a bunch of different characters at once? It's well known. It's always chaotic. Any footage I've seen, they push the sequel to that further into the next like 2023.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Overwatch. They pushed the sequel to that.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, what do you think with Blizzard?
I was thinking something like a Lost Vikings or Rock and Roll Racing, like something
Okay.
we're digging in the trenches. It'd be funny if they did something that was made not that long ago, like a StarCraft 2 or like
Yeah.
a Diablo 3.
Just remake it.
But something's getting remade, something I haven't thought of.
Gotcha.
What else we got? Speaking of remakes, though,
Which one are you thinking of?
you skipped over Metal Gear.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one. That's why I even skipped over. It's like it's a maybe. It's one of those things that people always talk about. Could be possible, but it's also Konami. Who knows, man? I'll put an X. Why not?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But I'm out of Hail Mary predictions. What do you think?
So something I feel very confident. So I have 3. I feel very confident in 2.
Mhm.
Capcom is gonna dig up some graves here.
Okay.
One may not be a grave, but I think it's time.
Is it dinosaur related?
It's Street Fighter time, baby.
Oh,
And I think that steals the show for a lot of the people in there. Like, I'm not super into Street Fighter, but there's millions of people around this planet that are so into Street Fighter. I think that's the show stealer. They have so many things I can't even think of. Like, do we get a Dead Rising? What do they have? They have so much to dig up. I
you think
we're
merging
getting-
their properties together in a Street Fighter,
Oh.
or like just going to the vault with like bringing back Dead Rising, that kind
I
of
think
thing?
just a new Street Fighter, but
I
I think we also get other properties from them. Like,
I see.
they did a brand new Ghosts and Goblins recently in the style of old Ghosts and Goblins,
You're right.
which is too hard for anyone to beat.
You know, people really want. There's this dinosaur related game, Dino Crisis. What is Dino
Ooh,
Crisis?
that'd be cool.
People keep asking for a remake
be
from Capcom. I don't know
awesome.
if they do that, but
What
we'll
about a
put
Mega
Capcom?
Man?
Yeah, Mega Man hasn't had a presence in a while. That could be cool.
Could be good.
So maybe just Capcom remake something from Capcom.
Yeah.
Going back to the vault. Gotcha.
So one I feel less confident about, No Man's Sky being up in this bitch.
Ooh, in what way?
Just like an announcement for another crazy expansion thingy. But that being said, I feel
Man.
less confident. I don't think they've done any announcements aside from their initial ones at somebody else's press conference.
No, it's always like and it's available now, like these little like trailers on Twitter, or it's available that week or something. Do you think even to jump on that? So what's the name of the studio? Goodbye, hello
Games.
Games.
There we go.
Do you think they finally can start talking about a new entry, a new game? There was that weird Zelda-ish game they put out a couple years ago.
I hated it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was mixed. But do you think we see something from them that's not No Man's Sky?
I do. I 100%
That'd be dope.
do.
Did they show off some of their first stuff at a Game Awards?
I think so.
I feel like they did.
Yeah.
So Hello Games,
Like
something
the
from
last
them.
campfire or something like that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Nice. Any more Hail Marys?
This one's also not very much of a Hail Mary. It's been too long. NetherRealm.
Ooh, that's a great choice.
It's happening. It's 100% happening.
They were rumored to be working on something related to another property. I want to say it was Marvel related, or at least
Yes.
Ed Boon had tweeted something and mentioned Marvel. People are like, okay, cool, you're working on a Marvel game.
Yep.
Maybe that's not the case, but I think you're right with bringing up NetherRealm.
I will eat the shoe for it. I'm probably going to eat that shoe.
I'm going to bring some shoes. You can, I'll bring some flip-flops so it's easier with barbecue sauce.
some
There you go.
chocolates.
That's some
We'll,
My grandma will slingshot them around the corner somehow and track you.
that's why I have this big mouth for. Yeah, it's happening 100%. I don't know what it's going to be. My prediction, even though there's no way it's going to happen, is DC versus Marvel. But it
It's
sounds
just
like
legally it's so tough, but it'd be awesome for them to pull off.
yeah, and it sounds like Square Enix basically has a chokehold on
Marvel,
Marvel. So
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt
yeah, I'm still gonna pray for it.
It'd be
Harry
very cool.
Potter versus DC.
That would be more likely, yeah. Well, there's that WB game where they're merging the WB properties.
I hope they show it. It looked pretty fun.
Yeah, and WB either owns or the NetherRealm is under their umbrella,
Right.
so that's maybe more likely where they'll throw some fighters. But some presence from NetherRealm would be really cool. And it's been a while since we've seen anything from them.
Speaking of, what if we had what's the studio? I think this is a solid guess actually.
Mhm.
Something new from the studio that made Shadow of Mordor. How long has that game been out for? The last one, Shadow
It's been
of War.
a while, yeah. Shadow of War. So that's WB. I don't know the name of the studio though. But it is
Oh,
WB.
they're in Seattle. Ross something Snowblind. I think it was Snowblind.
Yeah, I couldn't even pick it up top of my head. So I'm on Wikipedia right now. Monolith? Is
Fuck,
the
it was Monolith. Yeah, the guys that made Fear.
Ooh,
Original
nice.
Fear. I don't know
Original
about the
Fear.
other Fears.
So we have Shadow of War. Do you think maybe another entry in that franchise or a new title? So 2017 was Shadow of War, so it's been a hot minute.
I don't, because I don't know where else you go with that
Who
story.
owns Fear now?
I think still WB.
Man, bring that back to life.
The last
He's so
entry was
fucking dope.
rough.
Yeah, just reboot it though.
Yeah.
You have way better lighting now, cooler physics. You get weird with it.
Crazy AI.
I mean, what else you got to pitch here?
Fear 2 is so good though.
I need to go back and play these games.
I see. Well, they copy whatever. They patented that stupid system they have, the Nemesis system, which is a great idea.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
I think they come back. I don't think it's whatever, but I think we're getting something with that system.
There is another Lord of the Rings related game. It's like
right.
Golem something. So that might be shown here as well.
Wasn't that Amazon Studios has that one?
You might be right. Shadow of something. We'll see maybe if there's that or Lord of the Rings presence, but I'll put you down for that one. Gavin, that encompasses our Hail Marys or our overall announcement predictions. Now we can go to some of the drinking game options I have.
Boy, I didn't even realize there was more.
So this just rounds out the podcast, some drinking game options, which I don't know how crunk you want to get at the show because we'll probably have work in the next morning. But the first one is someone bashes Bobby Kotick. That's the Activision guy everyone wants out because of sexual harassment issues.
Bring out fuck the Grammy, guys.
Yeah.
He will
so
100%
one
do
of mine is someone says fuck the Oscars. That's what he said. Someone says fuck anything. Do you think we take shots with this or you just take a sip?
Sip.
Okay.
It's all gonna happen.
Do you remember the Gillette man?
No.
He's the guy, it was like cross promotion, one of the earlier Game Awards where they had a guy who's shaped like a Gillette razor.
Yeah.
He walks around.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
If he shows up on screen, take a drink, take a shot, blah, blah, blah. Presenter is uncomfortable. So if we see a guy talking, lady talking, and
Do
they
we just die
are
with that
nervous.
rule? That's most of
okay,
them.
you take a sip every time that happens. Vin Diesel shows up. He says family. So trailer showing JRPG game goes on way too long.
100%.
Yes.
I love it. Oh, these are good. These are great.
A celebrity doesn't know what they're presenting, similar to the uncomfortable thing. Like a Samuel Jackson going, what the hell am I talking about? Okay.
Oh, I don't think so, but I love it.
Trailer showing off sports goes on way too long, similar to the JRPG. Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Oh, God.
Do we just drink a whole bottle if that happens?
I think we're calling in sick if Half-Life 3
That's very
gets
true.
confirmed.
Keanu Reeves,
100%.
in some capacity,
It's
take a
happening.
drink. Jeff Keighley makes out with Kojima because they have their bromance. If that happens, take a sip.
You finished the bottle with that one.
I
It's
think I
also
would,
very possible.
BioShock confirmed. Take a sip, take a shot. The three families meet on stage again. That was 3 Game Awards ago. Someone curses, tied to the fuck the Oscars, fuck anything. Someone curses in some capacity.
Is that 2 drinks
sip.
then?
I guess if they both happen, if they curse and they also say to fuck something, then yes.
Fuck that cord.
Right. That's 3 then, damn. Fan rushes a stage in some capacity.
I doubt it.
Hopefully, just get an autograph or something. Kanye shows up, says, I'm going to let you finish, but
I don't
that
worry in
happens.
hell. That would be amazing.
Any kind of oh shit moment. Take a sip.
What defines an oh shit? Because
I mean, if
the
you're literally
Oscars
going
was an
like,
oh shit.
oh, then that would be an oh shit moment.
Okay.
Okay, so teaser trailer showing absolutely nothing. So if you remember, like,
we'll be drunk.
Yes. Remember PUBG had their game they showed off at Game Awards? Oh shit moment. So Keeley changes his shoes. He's a big shoe guy. I thought maybe he might change his shoes. So we'll keep an eye on his shoes.
Okay.
That's
As long
okay.
as it's just a sip. Yeah.
I don't know if he is going to change his shoes. I'm just saying.
He seems
Fortnite,
like he'll change his shoes.
if Fortnite's there, you take a sip. Every time Fortnite's there.
Has it ever been there?
It has been, yeah. They won a couple awards not too long ago.
Oh.
And they sometimes show off stuff there. So if Fortnite's, then we take a sip.
Someone subscribes.
So that's to our channel. Someone
to our.
subscribes.
Are
take
we
a
an
sip.
affiliate now?
No.
Oh,
Just
okay.
a regular Joe Schmo
Do
Twitter
you mean
channel.
follow?
Follow.
Oh.
I guess you're right. I'll change it. Follows, Gavin.
Let's make sure we aren't going.
If
to
someone
work the next day.
unsubscribes, we'll take a drink too. And then if a scam bot in the chat asks boxers or briefs,
Has that ever
we'll
happened?
take a sip. No.
All right, we leave that.
I just think of The Office where that happens. So those are the drinking game options so far that could happen. That we'll take a sip. I'll have a display where we can see them always. So if something happens, we'll know to take a sip. And I'll have our little document ready. So if one of us wins on one of these predictions, we'll also take note of that.
Oh boy, that's
Now, Gavin, that's next week, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. next Thursday. You scurry on down from your job. I'll make sure and call in sick or something and be here as well. But we got a week now. Hopefully nothing crazy leaks before then too.
I think the only concern I have is like clearly this is going to be a lot of drinking. Food, I think, is the only concern.
We're gonna have food.
We can work out logistics off the stream.
Yeah,
but,
for sure. We can mute mics. We can eat before or after. We can take our pants off. We can do whatever we want and monitor the, the stream where we can make it work around our lives. Because obviously we want to have fun and like still enjoy watching the thing.
Right.
But we're just streaming at the same time. But yeah, it can be done.
I'm
We'll work it out.
stoked. I think this is going to be the best one in a while.
I think you're right. I think Jeff Keighley's really trying to put a lot of energy into this one because last year they had to stream everything and it was people from their homes, accepting awards. I think they're really excited to bring physical bodies into the arena, the stage, and like go all out. You also have next gen we're into next gen, so we can really start showing off what's potential in the next 2 years. I think it's going to be a big deal.
Woo.
Yeah, can't wait, Gavin. Cannot wait. So we'll end our stream there, Gavin. Where can they find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at DrunkDevs.
Awesome. Megan says Doritos and Mountain Dew only for the we stream next week.
Oh boy.
Oh, and G Fuel. We'll have to get plenty of G Fuel.
I told you my recent mistake with Doritos, right?
No, you ate them? What happened?
Well, I wasn't aware that the Doritos version of Takis has dairy in it. And it's not a little amount of dairy, it's a lot of dairy.
They just pour
It's like
milk
half
on
the
it?
ingredients are like cream, cheese, not cream cheese, no, cream and then cheese, lactose powder.
Did you have a little incident then? Like what happened?
I was like, why is my stomach hurting so bad today? I haven't had dairy all week. Whereas Takis are dairy free. I shovel them bitches in my mouth all I want.
Interesting. So Doritos makes a Taki or
Yeah.
vice versa? Okay.
I would rather have Takis. I bought them on accident. I just saw the tubular.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing.
Anyway, this is a terrible way to end a podcast.
Well, Gavin had diarrhea already. So we'll end it there. You can also find us on Twitter at PlasticArtPod. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.